Okay.
Everybody. Hello. We are here to discuss with an interpreter. His name is Bryce, right?
Correct.
For the director, the district, sorry, the director. This is kind of informative, just to the Congressman and you about, right?
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, exactly. So we're going to start discussing, and you can see and learn. This is just kind of an educational and encourage everybody to get involved in politics, discussions, questions, and answers. This is an interpreter that can be here to kind of help you can see opinion or just amongst ourselves discussing things, right?
Yes.
Good. So, remember the last time I chatted with you on video phone about why you became a district director?
Yes.
And you explained to me. Can you go ahead and explain that again?
Sure.
With the interpreter
Sure. The reason I became the district director for the Congressman was I got very involved back in my collegiate career at Angelo State University in San Angelo with the college Republicans, and was able to at that point get involved on the grassroots, where I was able to go help candidates on a very grassroots level, go door to door, getting the word out, getting their message out, attending different functions that the Republican Party would put on, meeting with different civic leaders, community leaders, county elected officials, state elected officials, and then even the congressman of that district at the time. So that's when the passion was lit inside of me for public service. However, something that typically happens to us guys is we meet a beautiful girl in college and things change very, very quickly. So I met my wife at Angelo State University, and we came back to Lubbock, and that's when I took a job at a bank here in Lubbock, and have been working in the financial services sector ever since. Chanda Allen, who is a friend of mine who works on the Congressman's campaign staff, made an announcement on the Leadership Lubbock bus that Jimmy Clark, who I know you've talked to in the past, retired.
Yeah, right. He's retired. I remember about that.
Correct.
So you had picked up some of his.
Correct. Correct. And so when she made the announcement that he retired, a lot of people who knew me and knew my passions came up and said, Bryce, we think you should apply for this position. We think you'd be great for it. And I did, not wanting any regrets. So I did that. And after a 3-month, almost 4-month interview process, the congressman and his wife Dana offered me this position to serve him as the senior aide here in the 19th congressional district.
So that's a lot of people to kind of be influencing. That's a good stuff. Very cool. So it had goals, ambitions, become the district director. That's good. So I have the same question that I want to ask guys. Can I ask them? I'm going to ask them. Jimmy Carter had the same question. Do you mind if I ask you the same question? The same question that you asked
Jimmy Clark?
Jimmy Clark? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine. We're talking about taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know about that. And you know that about, the taxes and debt. Like your earnings, like when I do for income for the house, and you keep your earnings to yourself as far as like privacy.
What, in essence, wanted to keep more of your own money that you make?
No. So, in general, for example, so people around, they pay taxes, right? Put into taxes, and it pays for costs, for street repairs, for a variety of things, right? So after that money has been budgeted for that, so who does what? Who decides where that money goes?
Well, it's going to depend, because there are various taxing entities. That at the very top is the federal government, of course, that imposes a income tax, which is what is taken out of your check on a, every time you're paid, whether it's biweekly or monthly or however. And there's also, in the state of Texas, property taxes. It's where if you own a real estate property, a house, for instance, you pay property taxes that go to support the school district. It could go to support the county, which would be the roads, the streets, the water, the utilities, all that good stuff. And then there is the hospital district, which is UMC, just up the road, that those taxes go to pay. And then there are also sales taxes that go to the state, which fund other programs from, education to highways, all those things.
So they just kind of allocate it differently?
Correct.
To the different places?
Correct. And the way that money gets allocated is there are elected officials at each level that on your behalf, who represent you, dictate that policy. So at the federal level, in Washington, D.C., it would be your Congressman, Randy Nagadauer, who would be able to, as one vote in the United States House of Representatives, which has 435 members, he's one of those, to affect change in policy as it relates to taxes. At the state level, your representatives here in Lubbock are Senator Robert Duncan, and then depending if you live in the city limits of Lubbock or just outside in the county, it would be Representative Delwyn Jones or Representative Carl Ison. And that's who would affect the tax structure at the state level. And then at the local level, county judge, and then the county commissioners, and then also the mayor and the city council. Right, and that's the hierarchy of the structure.
Okay, the hierarchy. All right, I understand. Okay, perfect. All right, okay. So if you could explain clearer than you explain clearer than you did. I mean, you just you didn't give a straight answer. You just kind of beat around the bush a little bit. But I'm satisfied with that answer.
Okay.
To understand a little better. And you say, how it's all allocated and all the people, how they're decided, but the money itself is really recycled, kind of recycled. So it never stops. It's kind of a continual process.
Correct.
So at some point, so the money just keeps on going around and around and around. It seems like it's almost like abusing some people's lives. How it just kind of keeps on going around and around and around. I mean, money should continue growing and not stop. Instead of just going around in a circle and just the same stuff and again and again and again. I mean, do you agree with me on that?
I do, and that is going to relate back to economics. And of course, there's I don't know what we call it, an economic indicator that we watch called GDP, which is gross domestic product. And if you may or may not have heard that, but that's how we determine whether or not the United States is growing economically, to where there's wealth being created, there are jobs being created, there are businesses being built by small business owners.
You mean like people owning their own businesses?
Yes.
Small or big?
Correct. And so right now, currently, we're in a situation where unemployment is over 10%. Jobs are being lost all over the country, in Lubbock included. The government spending, whether it be for bailing out banks, bailing out insurance companies,